Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 30 days away from its official release by Disney, Lucasfilm, J.J. Abrams and crew that is all set and ready to end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of fans are very excited and very intrigued about has all to do with exactly how JJ is going to utilize the characters of Palpatine, Rey, Kylo Ren, you name it, in this story that's really going to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo from start to finish of Episode 9. We do know that Disney and Lucasfilm actually have a plan in place, as well as J.J. Abrams, to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film there is, with many different twists and turns that will lead to revelations that will have a massive impact on how fans view the entire Skywalker saga as a whole. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we were learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really interesting about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence based within the first act of the film, where it's explained that Kylo Ren is said to be inside of his chambers, on board of his First Order Ravager Star Destroyer, where it's described that Kylo Ren is said to be resting, that is said to be a parallel to when Anakin was sleeping in the prequel trilogy era. It's explained that during this time, Kylo Ren is said to be holding Darth Vader's broken lightsaber with a red kyber crystal seen protruding from the other half, where Kylo begins to hear the screams of Anakin Skywalker burning on Mustafar in the distance. As this happens, it's said that Kylo is having a nightmare of Darth Vader while holding the remains of Darth Vader's lightsaber hilt, where it's described that Kylo begins to see visions of a burned Darth Vader actual figure in front of his face, sometime after the events of Episode 3 and after Order 66. Now, the visions are said to be very quick, that appears in a flashy fashion, like frames jumping in and out of Kylo Ren's dream and mind, where he is said to eventually wake up from the dream of Anakin Skywalker burned, where he looks at the saber pieces away and locks it away in a metallic box. This is where Kylo begins to walk over to Darth Vader's melted helmet and is said to take it out of a container, where he places both of his hands on Vader's mask and actually rests his forehead against Vader's helmet, begging him for guidance. This is where Kylo begins to hear a strange voice and a series of dark side whispers that guide him and tell him to travel to an unknown star system in the Outer Rim. What Kylo doesn't know is that this is really not Vader's spirit reaching out to Kylo Ren, but it's rather Palpatine indirectly luring Kylo Ren to the Outer Rim to discover Darth Vader's Wayfinder device that will lead him over to the unknown regions. Eventually, it's explained that Kylo Ren discovers the device and is able to make his way to Palpatine, where he meets with Sidious. It's said that there is a dramatic moment in which Kylo Ren is said to ignite his saber blade and puts it against Palpatine's neck, where as Kylo does this, Palpatine begins to laugh in his traditional way, telling him that he can offer Kylo Ren the power that Vader once had, many years ago when he ruled the galaxy. This is Palpatine's way of manipulating Kylo Ren, in that at first, Kylo does not believe Palpatine is really Palpatine, and says that Sidious died over 30 years ago. Palpatine is said to prove himself by revealing a hologram of himself with Darth Vader during the days of the Empire, where Kylo is now convinced that he really is Palpatine after all. Palpatine is said to offer Kylo Ren to retrieve, of course, Rey, and to bring her before him, and that in exchange he will offer him this power that Darth Vader once had, and that it's very important that he does so to retrieve Rey as he is dying. Now, Palpatine actually tells Kylo Ren that he will provide Kylo the training he needs to be as powerful, if not more powerful than Darth Vader, as long as he gets Rey to his new Sith Empire. This is where Palpatine is said to reveal exactly who Rey really is, and ties into the line of dialogue from the final trailer of when Rey says, "People keep telling me that they know me, but no one does," followed by Kylo Ren saying, "But I do." The entire sequence is said to take place in the first act of the film, where Disney and Lucasfilm, it's actually said that this is said to be a very dark and gritty moment. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, in case you guys did not know, that is indeed Disney and Lucasfilm's plan for The Rise of Skywalker, is to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film there is out of the entire Skywalker saga. And you can see why they're trying to do this. They're really trying to top that of Revenge of the Sith. Now, if you guys really had to ask me, and really had to ask for my 2 cents on this, I don't really believe that Disney and Lucasfilm are going to make this film darker than that of Episode 3. I feel that Episode 3 is just way too dark of a Star Wars film that it really can't be touched by Disney. It can't be topped by Disney, I should say. You have, you know, the fall of the Jedi, you have Anakin Skywalker pretty much, you know, being burned alive on Mustafar. You have the moment in which we have Padme's death. I mean, the list goes on. I really don't believe that they're going to top that, but we'll have to wait and see to see exactly how everything will be executed on the big screen. I want to go over this nightmare that Kylo Ren is said to have of Anakin Skywalker and the actual burned version of Anakin on Mustafar and Darth Vader without his armor, per se. Now, this is actually all said to be a part of a parallel of Kylo Ren to Anakin. We've seen how Anakin in the prequel trilogy era has nightmares where he wakes up and he's afraid of, you know, Padme Amidala dying through childbirth, and other nightmares that he also had about his mother that he explained to Padme. All those different segments in the prequel trilogy are now going to have a parallel with that of Kylo Ren. And after all, if you look at Kylo Ren, he really is a reverse story of Anakin Skywalker. It's a very interesting thing that J.J. Abrams set up in The Force Awakens that he will now bring to an end in Episode 9. But it's not just that. The thing that also gets me is Palpatine's role in the film of indirectly luring Kylo Ren over to the Outer Rim to discover Darth Vader's Wayfinder device. So let's talk about this Wayfinder device. In case you guys did not know what this thing really is, it's actually said to be shaped just like a Sith holocron, and even is colored like a Sith holocron. It's got that red hue to it. But at the same exact time, it's actually said to have ties to the unknown regions. It's going to be the very thing that allows Kylo Ren to discover Palpatine's location and the location of the new Sith Empire. So that's the thing here, is that Palpatine is masking himself as Darth Vader's spirit and has been doing so for a very long time through Darth Vader's melted helmet, and was using the melted helmet of Vader as a conduit, a bridge if you will, to reach out to Kylo Ren from afar. Since the unknown regions is a very dangerous place to travel to, Kylo Ren actually learns about the hyperspace routes through, of course, Darth Vader's Wayfinder device, where Rey will also discover Palpatine's Wayfinder device inside of the second Death Star wreckage, inside of Palpatine's old throne room. So it's very, you know, poetic of what they're doing here. You know, you have the grandson of Darth Vader discovering, you know, his grandfather's device that leads him over to the unknown regions. And then, of course, you got Rey, who is actually said to be the granddaughter of Palpatine, discovering her grandfather's Wayfinder device. It's very poetic, and I kind of like how that flows. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is that Palpatine is said to be dying. He reveals this to Kylo Ren and promises that if he brings Rey before him, he will offer Kylo Ren the training that he needs in order to become as powerful as Darth Vader. So once again, you can see Palpatine pulling the strings here once again, being the ultimate puppet master that he really is out of the entire Skywalker saga, and just really doing exactly what he did with Anakin Skywalker by promising him that he could actually teach him the ways to cheat death and to actually save Padme, which he never really did. So once again, this is a false promise by Palpatine. He doesn't have any plans to do this for Kylo Ren. All he needs is both Rey and Kylo Ren to be in the same exact proximity in order to use the Force conduit technique to become younger, to actually become rejuvenated and more powerful, if you will, to take down both Rey and Kylo Ren if they refuse to become a part of his new Sith Empire and a part of his new Rule of Three plan that would actually be 3 Sith Lords ruling the entire galaxy. That's a very interesting side of Star Wars by JJ, since he's really exploring, you know, different aspects and changing the Rule of 2 to the Rule of 3, and that, of course, if Rey and Kylo Ren do not, you know, pretty much agree with those, you know, offers by Palpatine, that he's going to just wipe them out once he's actually powerful enough to do that. So that's the thing here. You know, you can see how it explores Palpatine's weakness, how it goes over, you know, Kylo Ren having a similar situation to Anakin where he had the nightmares and everything around those lines. And I kind of like that. I like that this is a dark and gritty moment in the first act of Episode 9 that leads him to Palpatine's location in this movie. Honestly, I cannot wait to see, you know, what Palpatine is going to look like in the flesh, you know, when he's actually on the verge of death and when he gets rejuvenated at the very end of Episode 9 as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
to moon, we hear them once again.